And what is the common denominator between politics and Star Wars? My guest wrote a whole damn book on it. That's the final five. Let's do this. 2021 has been a pretty wild year on Capitol Hill. Everybody has their own ideas for how to fix policy problems, but friend of the show, Stephen Kent, thinks the Force is the answer, which led him to write a book about the confluence of his passions, policy and Star Wars. The book is called How the Force Can Save the World. He is up late with me live here on the Final Five to talk about it. Good to see you, my friend.
Jim, nice to be
It's
back.
been a while since we've had you in studio.
Absolutely.
Good to see you.
Break the new place in.
How we doing?
Very good. Rolling high on the Force this week,
Yeah.
so can't go wrong.
Give me a sense about, so I know that this is something you've been working on for a long while now, and something you've certainly been passionate about, the whole Star Wars universe. How many times, first of all, have you
and a couple
watched?
million other people.
Yeah, but how many times have you watched through the whole movies?
I mean, it has to have at least been 100 at this point.
Did you ever think, though, that you would get to this point where you would take what you picked up from the Star Wars universe and translate it into the hot button issues of the day?
I think all of my family are delighted and horrified at the same time that I've taken this obsession so far, but it has made a lot of people really happy, just like normal folks out there who are concerned about the state of the world and believe that Star Wars is a story that matters.
What did you pick up? Like, what, through your viewings of the movies, all these years, what did you find yourself picking things up that you didn't pick up the first 100 times?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, just for example, the end of Return of the Jedi. This is the original trilogy, 1983. Darth Vader dies in the end of the movie. Spoiler alert.
I was going to say, right.
Dies in the end of the movie, and then he reappears as a Force ghost. And a lot of people view this and they go, oh, Judeo-Christian philosophy, he's been redeemed, his sins have been wiped away. And I've been watching and researching it a little bit deeper. I was like, actually, no, that's not the case at all. People who go on to life after death in Star Wars, they confront their shadow, right, their inner darkness, and they conquer it. They know it, they conquer it, they tame it. And in Star Wars, that's your path to redemption, life after death, not necessarily a clean slate that you might think about in the Christian sense. And when I was thinking about our problems with redemption in our society, cancel culture being one of those main things where we just all of a sudden are at each other's throats over people's sins, knowing that we have a dark side and that we choose not to live in it, that's a powerful message to seize on, and that's one of the main underpinnings of my book.
How long did the process take for you from the idea that you had to write this book when you got the deal? Because I remember we had you on the show not too long after you inked the initial deal. How long did this process take?
So it was like a 2-year process of kind of coming up with the idea, at least a 5-year process of just marinating in a what if I actually did write a Star Wars political analysis book. And then I churned it out in 6 months. So signed the deal, put it out there in 6 months, and we're finally on launch week.
Talk about the reaction so far, because you did book launch parties in D.C. You got some pretty big luminaries in the political world to come out. Are you surprised? Is this a pleasant surprise? Was this something you expected? Because this is something that people, not just, obviously you mentioned not just yourself, but something people are so passionate about. And to find these themes, these overriding narratives that can be adapted to situations we see these days, it has to be very fulfilling and satisfying.
Oh, absolutely. In North Carolina, I went and I did a book launch event with the North Carolina House Republicans. We had several House members as well as Senate members in North Carolina show up to hear about how Star Wars offers a lesson on not overstepping your bounds in government. The Death Star as the perfect analogy for when government tries to go too far in controlling the people. What happens when you overreach like that? And we brought together members of the House and the Senate to talk about responsible governance in a purple state and not abusing their mandate to rule in the House and the Senate there. And then here in D.C., we had a Fox News host and a former Democratic mayor of Minneapolis come together and both share their hearts on their sleeves a little bit about how Star Wars helps them think about morality in a very complicated time in our life.
It was funny because I saw that it was Betsy Hodges and Ben Domenech who both showed up there, and I'm wondering what the hell would bring those two together, and it turns out it's Star Wars.
A galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
For millions and millions of people, for 4 generations, this story is the modern myth. It is our modern day Greek tale, like Achilles, right? Like, this is the kind of thing that gives people a shared language to talk about right and wrong and how good intentions emotions can lead to disaster, how fear can turn to anger, hatred, and then suffering. This is a story that we need, and it gives us a way to talk about morality in a complicated time.
Well, I think we also forgot, you know, all of that notwithstanding, we forgot about how to be respectful, disagree respectfully with each other, and the idea that it's okay to be different. It's okay to stand on two sides of the political spectrum and find that common ground. And I think you see that from the narratives in the films, but also, again, from the fact that you have these people from different sides of the political spectrum coming together saying, yes, you know, this is something that has sustained us. Hey, look, it's one thing, and you know, we've made no secret about this, you and I talking before. I have not seen the movies. And it's kind of amazing. I mean, do you think it's amazing?
You're a rare breed.
I know, I feel that way. But it's fascinating because you don't see, some people see it as just a movie, and then you have these conversations.
But the thing is, if Darth Vader walked into the room right now, you would know who that was.
Of course I would, right.
And that is the power of Star Wars, is when someone says, and I did some events on Capitol Hill once, and a Republican member mentioned, like, oh, you know, one of the other guys, he went to the dark side. You don't have to be a Star Wars fan to like know exactly what they're referencing. It's just kind of baked into our culture. It's part of the zeitgeist.
So holiday season, who is this book for?
Well, this book is for the person in your life who is either a Star Wars fan or is concerned about the discourse in our country, the rampant amounts of fear, anxiety, loneliness, and feelings of detachment from one another. This book reaches out to everybody, gives strong examples in the political discourse right now of where the left and the right are just seeing right past each other, not speaking the same language. And this book takes politics a little bit out, puts Star Wars in, and offers a new way to talk about these complex issues.
All right, the book is called How the Force Can Fix the World. I want you to sign my copy, which I bought this myself. We've had people on the show before.
Let's do it.
You can do what you'd like. The book, again, called How the Force Can Fix the World. You can find it at your bookstores, wherever you go. Amazon. You have any place you prefer people buy this from?
Amazon is great. You know, when it takes off on Amazon, the book does really well and gets to more people.
I'm always proud of seeing everything you've done. In addition to your show that you do, your show Rightly, and everything else you've done, I'm proud to call you a friend. I'm thrilled for you. Always good to have you on the show. Please come back. Jim, I am your father. Oh, interesting. Thank you, Stephen.